The new Pope, whoever said that American influence was waning? Donald Trump, of course, throwing his weight around as usual. And now we have the first American Pope in history. The Vatican, of course, welcomed its new leader in the early hours of Friday morning Australian time, Pope Leo XIV, replacing Pope Francis after his death, aged 88. Thousands of Catholics watched on as the traditional white smoke rose above the Sistine Chapel, signalling the election of the new Pope. But, of course, now the questions are, who is this bloke? What does he believe in? Is he a commie like Pope Francis? Well, let's try and wade through some of that. Sky News reporter Stash Butler joins me now live from the Vatican. Stash, what's been happening in the last couple of days since the Pope has been elected? Obviously, there's a fair bit going on behind you right now.
That's right, just behind me on the balcony, the central balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, Pope Leo XIV is delivering the Regina Caeli prayer, brief prayer that's said in the days and weeks after Easter. This is his first public appearance here in St. Peter's Square since he was elected Pope just 2 or 3 days ago now. In the past 48 hours or so, he's been speaking to cardinals. He's given a mass in the Sistine Chapel. He's also spoken in a meeting to cardinals, I think giving some of his most illuminating comments about where his papacy is leading, broadly stressing, I think, continuity with Pope Francis, stressing that he wanted to continue parts of the foundational document, essentially, of Pope Francis's papacy, and also raising the risks that AI poses to human labour, human dignity, and tying himself to the previous Pope Leo, Pope Leo XIII, that is, in the late kind of 1800s, who was seen as a champion of workers' rights at the time. So defining his papacy, I think, in a little bit in those terms. As you see now, we're having his first public appearances in the last 24 hours. He's also visited Pope Francis's tomb. So I think really coming out into the people. We're not expecting his first Mass, though, until next Sunday.
We just had live pictures there of the Pope on the balcony. You talked there about his desire to have some continuity here. I've read other stuff he's said in the past, repudiating what he called communism in certain parts of the church. Talking to people on the ground over the last few days, what is the feeling in terms of the ideological bent of the new Pope?
Well, I think at first it's worth saying that most of the people we've spoken to have been keen for some kind of continuation of Pope Francis's legacy. I would say that's been the overwhelming theme. As for where this Pope stands in relation to that, I think that's something we're still trying to figure out ourselves. I think it's also worth pointing out that progressivism or how it might be seen in the church is not always necessarily aligned with socialism and communism. Quite often there's critiques from the church of both socialism and capitalism. The church likes to kind of see itself, at least from Francis' view, and I believe from the new Pope's view, as a kind of third way between the two. But yeah, I think that's something we're still trying to figure out, but certainly the clues that Pope Leo has given us, and from the people I've spoken to here, is that he is broadly aligned with the agenda that Pope Francis set out in his 12 years in the papacy.
What do we have happening over the next few days? This is the party that rolls on for quite some time.
Well, tomorrow we actually have an opportunity to hear from the Pope directly. He's going to be giving a press conference, a very oversubscribed press conference, I should say, in the Vatican. And as I said earlier, that first inaugural Mass will be following a week later. I suspect in the days between we'll also get a few appearances in public, but perhaps not the kind of public statements we might be expecting. And I mentioned those two Masses, rather the Mass and the meeting with the cardinals. Those were both closed-door events. But I think, as you've seen now, this first public occasion out here, speaking to the public, we're going to be seeing more and more of that in the days and weeks to come.
Indeed. Stash Butler, thank you for your time, and you'll see plenty more from him here on the channel covering the movements over the next few days.